Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Withered by A.G.A. Wilmot. This is a horror book coming out April 16th, 2024 from ECW Press. I forgot what year it was for a second there. I received this book from both NetGalley and the publisher in exchange for a fair review. Basically, it already requested it on NetGalley, and then the publicist offered me a paperback, and I was like, sure, I would love a paperback. So thank you very much. A haunted house story with an interesting twist, Withered is a rather heart-moving horror. So what is it about? After the tragic death of their father and surviving a life-threatening eating disorder, 18-year-old Ellis moves with their mother to a small town of Blackstone, seeking a simple life and some space to recover. But Blackstone feels off. It's a disquieting place surrounded by towns with some of the highest death rates in the country. It doesn't help that everyone says Ellis's new house is haunted. Everyone, including Quinn, a local girl who has quickly captured Ellis's attention. And Ellis has started to believe what people are saying. They see pulsing veins in the walls of their bedroom and specters in dark corners of the cellar. Together, Ellis and Quinn dig deep into Blackstone's past and soon discover that their town, and Ellis's house in particular, is the battleground in a decades-long spectral war, one that will claim their family and the town if it's allowed to continue. Ooh. The best thing about this novel is the interesting take on the haunted house concept. While I've seen and read all variations of hauntings, this one is quite different, and the mystery behind it was super compelling, and I think would make a really cool movie. If you like horror that's less about scares and more about mystery, you will likely really enjoy this one. I will say, though, I was reading it at night in the dark, and I wasn't really scared. There are some eerie parts, but for the most part, it's more creepy than scary. For people who like horror but don't like to be that scared, I think this is a good one. For those who want intense horror, it might not reach that level, but I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was really fun. The book has a great concept, and the setting is fully realized and easy to picture. The more exciting scenes were well described, and it was easy to picture what was going on. The book also contained one of my favorite tropes, though it's totally a spoiler, so I can't really talk about it, but I was like, oh, this is fun. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that aspect, tied to the haunting element, was an interesting take and made the motivations behind the haunting make perfect sense, as well as pulling on your heartstrings. That was a joke you'll only get if you read the book, but yeah, it still applies. Unfortunately, though, for me, I found the pacing and jumping between points of view took away from the story. While I appreciated the queer elements and Alice's journey with their recovery from anorexia, there was too much focus on the relationship with Quinn, so that there was less space for horror. While I definitely think it's important to have characters in horror that are detailed and realistic, I could have done with less dating interpersonal stuff. I also prefer a romance that builds and culminates in a climax versus characters starting to date right away. That's just me. And more haunting, as it didn't feel like Alice was ever scared in their house, and a lot of the discovery of the hauntings elements comes from a third party telling Alice the backstory. So it was less of a kind of working together to figure this out, and more of a here's the situation, let's deal with it. Some people might really like this though, so I'm not saying this is a bad thing on behalf of the book, it just didn't work for me specifically. There were also a few sections in the book where we got the point of view of other characters. While I normally love multi-POV, it affected the scare value, as rather than seeing the haunting through Alice's eyes and experience it vicariously, we're seeing it from a few steps back. These multi-POV scenes could have been reduced to maybe one or two, simply to broaden out the house's mystery more, which would have left more space for Alice's fear or at least curiosity of the house to grow, without the romance angle to compete with it. I guess what I'm trying to say is there were a lot of elements in this book, and I found that they competed and didn't really complement at times, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a really cool concept and that I really enjoy the book. Still, though, it's very enjoyable, as I said. It's fun. It's a slightly different take on a haunting. If you're looking for a horror with LGBT plus elements, this would be a great one for that. I did think it was a really good book, and thank you again to the publishers for the copies. I really appreciate it.